This is the Sales Babble Podcast, episode 513. The way you get more is you need to let go.
Welcome to Sales Babble, the podcast that shares selling secrets for non-sellers. And now your host, Pat Helmers.
Hello, Sales Babblers. This is Pat Helmers, and today I'd like to do an experiment and try something different. This is something that I've been noodling about for the last few weeks, and since the Tao Te Ching is founded on change, and as we know, change is the only constant in life, it feels right to make a change. Today, I'm going to read chapter 46 of the Tao Te Ching. I'm going to share a story about Pat and Chris, and then review how the chapter applies to sales. I think it's going to be fun to share with readers an actual chapter of the Tao Te Ching. Of course, I'm going to do this in English. I'm not going to do this in Chinese. I'm not stupid. I don't want to go that far. I think you might find it kind of interesting to see how the actual text applies to selling and life too. Let's give this a try and see how it works. Today's topic is about knowledge and how it's gained by learning new things. Yet master selling is about letting go of learning and being in the flow. It's a paradox, right? Well, Taoism is filled with that. That's one thing we've learned over the last year. Taoism is nothing but paradox. But before we get to the rest of the episode, make sure and subscribe to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode. And you can also follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Links can be found in the show notes. And now today's chapter, chapter 46. Those who seek knowledge collect something every day. Those who seek the Tao let go of something every day. Less and less do you need to force things. In time, you reach non-action. And when you get there, there's nothing that you can't do. Never take over the world to fix it. Those who want to fix it are not fit to take over the world. And now today's story. Chris had assembled quite a collection of books that teach sales. Some focused on closing, others cold calling, and one book was nothing but a collection of objection handling techniques. Studying the books was like drinking from a fire hose, and it was more than anyone could digest. Pat could see Chris's frustration. Pat said, "Wow, you've really gone to school to learn selling. I commend your work ethic. But it seems like you're getting stuck. What's going on?" Chris nodded. "It's gotten to the point I can't keep it at all straight. It's all a jumble of scripts and techniques." Pat smiled. "I know where you're coming from. I was there once earlier in my career. When you're new, every day you add more to your skill set. But in time, you realize selling is simpler than what the books tell you. For example, what's the first thing you say to an unqualified lead?" Chris quickly responded, "Well, you ask them about their most urgent need and listen to how they answer." "Eureka," said Pat. "That's exactly right. Now's the time for you to let go of the techniques of sales and instead enter the zone where effortless selling happens under its own power. Drop that jumble and it will happen on its own." When first learning sales, each day you add some knowledge. But in practice of master selling, each day something is dropped. Less and less you need to force things. Finally, you arrive at the no-close close. Mechanical processes and canned scripts fade away and deals happen on their own. You let it go. You do what feels right. And to your astonishment, sales just happen. So what do you folks think? Did you like this? Not that much different, right? What I liked about it was you actually got to hear the real Tao Te Ching as written by Lao Tse. I'd love to get your feedback on this. The best way to do that is to go to salesbabble.com and to click the Babble Me button, and that'll send a message directly to me. Or you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm easy to get on there, and connect with me and send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Now, lastly, if you found some value in this episode, if you could share it with one other person looking to grow their selling skills, I'd really appreciate it, because word of mouth is the best way to grow a podcast and to share all the things that we're doing here. If you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. With that said, that's all I've got for this week. That's it. Until next Tuesday, take care and have a highly successful and a profitable selling day.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Babble podcast. Find us at www.salesbabble.com.
This is a production of Habanero Media.